You're not just anyone. You're the one who defied expectations, who saw through the games and chose to rise above it all. You're the blueprint for breaking free, the spark that ignites change, and the force they never saw coming. When others tried to dim your light, you burned brighter. When they doubted your worth, you built yourself into something unstoppable. This is your story, a journey of resilience, strength, and unapologetic freedom. You're not here to fit in. You're here to lead, to inspire, and to show the world what true power looks like. This is your moment. Own it. Shine brighter. Let's go. The moment you chose to step away, everything they had carefully constructed began to crumble. They had woven a false sense of control around the assumption that you would always stay tethered to their narrative. You were their constant, their unending source of energy, and they never imagined a reality without you. But with one bold decision, you shattered that illusion. You didn't simply exit their world, you dismantled the framework of dependence they had built, leaving their carefully curated balance in disarray. Your departure wasn't a ripple, it was a tidal wave, overturning every expectation they had anchored in your presence. Their miscalculation was their undoing. They underestimated the depth of your strength, seeing only the version of you that they wanted to control. Their tactics, emotional manipulation, guilt, and quiet undermining were designed to keep you bound. They relied on your loyalty, assuming it was unshakable, but they failed to recognize the quiet power of your resolve. When you saw the patterns, when the weight of their control became undeniable, you chose to break free. That choice wasn't just a rejection of their games, it was a revelation of your clarity and courage, exposing the fragility of the structure they had created around you. The fallout was chaotic. They cycled through disbelief, anger, and confusion, unable to reconcile the reality of your absence. For some, your departure forced them to confront the truth of their actions and the dependency they had cultivated. For others, it bred resentment and jealousy. They struggled to grasp how you had managed to escape the intricate web they had spun. Some even attempted to mimic your newfound strength, but their efforts were hollow. They lacked the authenticity and determination that fueled your transformation. Your decision not only freed you, but illuminated the false foundations they had long relied on. Don't hold back. Embrace your potential. Subscribe now, and let's ignite the future together. The moment you stepped away, their expectations crumbled. It wasn't just your departure that shook them. It was the unstoppable strength you displayed after. They anticipated your return, beaten by the challenges of standing on your own. But instead, you flourished. You reclaimed your time, your essence, and your power, creating a life unshackled by their limitations. Your transformation revealed a truth they had refused to acknowledge. You were never theirs to manipulate or define. You were always meant to rise beyond their reach. In the void your absence left, resentment began to grow. They replayed every interaction, trying to decode the resilience they could never possess. Your newfound clarity, confidence, and peace became a mirror, forcing them to confront the cracks in their own foundation. For some, this realization bred envy, a stark reminder of their unfulfilled potential. For others, it turned into bitterness, an attempt to dismiss your growth to avoid confronting their failures. But their judgments no longer hold weight. You've taken control of your story, reshaping it with strength and conviction. You are no longer their source of validation or their excuse. Instead, you have become a reminder of what they lost and what they could never contain. While they remain ensnared in patterns of manipulation and dependency, you've soared far beyond their grasp. They underestimated your resolve, never imagining you could sever the ties. Now, they're left watching your freedom reverberate like an undeniable truth, a powerful declaration of your liberation and the boundaries they could never break again. Reclaiming your freedom wasn't just about walking away. It was about rediscovering and reclaiming the pieces of yourself that had been buried beneath the weight of others' expectations. You untangled yourself from their grasp, breaking the chains of subtle manipulation and unspoken demands that had quietly stifled your soul. Each step forward was an act of defiance, a refusal to let anyone dictate your value or determine the path of your journey. They never anticipated your strength, mistaking your patience and kindness for compliance. But the moment you chose yourself, the entire dynamic shifted in a way they never saw coming. By withdrawing your energy, you dismantled the very foundation of their control. Without your contributions, their carefully constructed systems began to collapse, leaving them without the fuel that kept their agendas alive. While they remain trapped in their own cycles of stagnation, you've broken free, carving out a new path that challenges everything they believed about power and dependency. Your independence forces them to confront their own limitations, exposing the hollowness of the structures they once relied upon. Their envy festers, revealing itself in subtle jabs and attempts to discredit the strides you've made. They try to mimic your transformation, hoping to capture a fragment of your strength, but their efforts fall flat. They fail to understand that your freedom wasn't just a matter of action. It was a deliberate, conscious choice to redefine everything they once controlled. The authenticity that propels your growth is something they cannot replicate, and their frustration only grows as they realize the depth of what they've lost and the power they never truly understood. They didn't grieve your absence for the right reasons. It wasn't about the value you brought, but their failure to recognize it while they had the chance. To them, your presence seemed perpetual, a constant they could shape and rely upon at will. Now, without you, they confront the stark emptiness left behind, a space once filled by your generosity, your energy, and your unwavering support. They begin to see the imbalance, how little they truly offered in return. The unraveling of their world isn't just a consequence of your departure, it's a revelation of how much they depended on what you quietly held together. Their control was never haphazard. It was meticulously crafted, each interaction calculated to deepen their hold. They spun a web designed to keep you ensnared, pulling strings of doubt and confusion to manipulate your perceptions. By pitting you against others or twisting truths, they created a reality where questioning their motives felt impossible. They planted the seeds of guilt deep within you, watering them with subtle jabs and conditional affection until those chains felt unbreakable. And when all else failed, they leaned into your fears, convincing you that without their presence, your world would collapse. But their carefully constructed illusions couldn't withstand the clarity you eventually found. Piece by piece, their tactics began to reveal themselves for what they were. You saw how your hesitation became their power, how every concession you made gave them more control. The patterns of isolation, guilt, and dependence they had relied upon began to lose their grip. And then you made the choice they never thought you would. The choice to step into your power, to prioritize yourself, and to break free from their grasp. It was a decision that shattered their illusion of control and set you firmly on the path to reclaiming your life. Choosing to prioritize yourself was more than defiance. It was the ultimate reclamation of your essence. It demanded courage, as breaking free meant facing their fury, their manipulative pleas, and their relentless attempts to pull you back into their grasp. But in stepping away, you didn't merely escape, you obliterated the mechanisms they relied upon to keep you ensnared. The threads they had so carefully woven were not just untangled, but incinerated. The guilt they weaponized, the narratives they used to manipulate, and the roles they imposed on you were stripped of their power. Their frustration stemmed not from your actions, but from their inability to control you any longer. The labels they threw at you, heartless, selfish, were designed to wound, to lure you back into their cycle. Yet those words carried no truth. Their rage wasn't about what you had done, but about what they had lost, the control they once wielded so easily. The strength you displayed shattered their carefully constructed illusions. They were left to confront the reality they had tried to deny. Their authority over you was never genuine. It existed only because you allowed it. Once you reclaimed your autonomy, the facade crumbled, leaving them exposed to their own emptiness and the games they played. While they remain ensnared in their self-made limitations, you soar forward, unencumbered, unstoppable. Your newfound freedom is a force, cutting through the darkness they once hid behind. Every choice you make, every boundary you enforce, reflects a strength they cannot replicate and a light they cannot dim. Your independence reveals the authenticity they lack, forcing them to see the courage they forfeited long ago. You don't just shine, you illuminate their shadows, casting a relentless light on truths they can no longer avoid. Unlock the tools to reshape your reality and embrace unparalleled transformation. For those ready to master the art of manifestation, a treasure trove of guidance awaits. Dive into powerful techniques that elevate your energy, turning your surroundings into a hub of abundance. Discover practices that bridge the gap between intention and physical creation, using focused rituals to draw forth what once seemed out of reach. Alongside these teachings, gain access to profound insights from individuals who have overcome extraordinary challenges, their wisdom shared through exclusive interviews and transformative content. This is not just a program, it's the ignition of a movement. It's the place where visions take flight, where potential is realized, and where your story transforms into a masterpiece. Don't wait for the world to change around you. Step forward and become the force that rewrites destiny. The next step is yours to take. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will come back to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessings are on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Your choice to step away forced them to confront themselves in a way they never anticipated. In your absence, the cracks in their carefully constructed facades became glaringly obvious. They began to see the emptiness in their lives, the opportunities they let slip away, and the fears that kept them tethered to complacency. Your strength served as an unspoken reminder of their untapped potential, and that truth was too uncomfortable to ignore. Their resentment wasn't truly directed at you, it was a projection of the disappointment they felt for the versions of themselves they refused to embrace. Yet even in their frustration, They couldn't turn away from the undeniable reflection you offered. Your independence and transformation shattered the illusions they clung to. They attempted to dismiss your progress, trivialize your success, and convince themselves it wasn't real. But their words rang hollow against the undeniable reality of your growth. While they remained stagnant, you rose above, forging a path rooted in authenticity and resilience. In their attempts to emulate your outward success, they faltered, because they lacked the foundation of courage and self-awareness that underpinned your journey. Your freedom became not just a statement, but a challenge, exposing their illusions for what they truly were. True resilience doesn't come from fleeting defiance, but from a deep understanding of your worth and the unwavering decision to protect it. They fail to grasp this. They mimic your steps, hoping to achieve the same freedom, but their foundation crumbles under the weight of shortcuts and insincerity. Their frustration grows as their efforts fall short, and they remain stuck in the cycles they never had the courage to break. For some, your growth shines a painful light on their own choices, or lack thereof. Though they rarely admit it, they recognize the life they might have built had they faced their fears instead of being guided by them. Your independence becomes a silent reminder of roads not taken, urging them to confront what they have avoided. But their regrets are not your burden to bear. Your purpose is not to mend their past, but to continue moving forward with clarity and strength. The transformation you've undergone is a mirror they can neither ignore nor manipulate, forcing them to face their truths. Whether that reflection inspires change or deepens their frustration is not your concern. Your journey stands as proof that greatness is not handed out. It is earned through intentional choices and perseverance. This is a call to rise above expectations, to let go of what weighs you down, and to step into the life that awaits you. When you walked away, it wasn't just an act of release. It was the beginning of a profound shift. You reclaimed the space that had been filled with manipulation and dependency, allowing your authentic self to take root and grow. The quiet that followed wasn't empty. It was filled with your own voice, guiding you toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. That voice, unfiltered and unshakable, is your true compass, leading you where you are meant to be. Breaking away wasn't just a decision, it was a declaration of your worth. Your growth wasn't built on seeking validation. It emerged from rejecting the constraints placed upon you. By stepping into your own power, you dismantled the narratives designed to keep you confined, refusing to carry the burdens of others' expectations. What followed was a stillness that felt unfamiliar yet liberating, a moment of clarity that revealed your strength, your value, and the limitless potential they sought to suppress. But your liberation didn't just change you. It created ripples in the lives of those who once sought to contain you. They can no longer ignore the reality your freedom exposes. For some, it forces a reckoning, making them question their own limitations and the cages they built for themselves. Others view your transformation as a threat. Your progress casts an uncomfortable light on the spaces they've chosen to remain stagnant, and your courage challenges their decision to cling to familiarity. They look at you and see not just what you've accomplished, but everything they've avoided becoming. Your authenticity strips away their pretense, and your boldness exposes their fear. This discomfort isn't fleeting. It digs deep, serving as an inescapable reminder of opportunities they chose to overlook. They see in you the roads they could have taken but avoided, favoring illusions of control and comfort over truth and growth. Feel what it truly means to be chosen. You're not alone on this journey. If deep down you feel that you're chosen, you've come to the right place. Take the next step in connecting with us, unlocking exclusive content, and receiving the support you need on your spiritual path by clicking the Join button. This isn't just about being part of a community. It's about accessing unique insights that can transform your life and bring you closer to your divine calling. Make the choice today and walk this journey with us. Claim your place among the chosen ones. Join now. Their attempts to emulate your journey are hollow, rooted in imitation, rather than genuine transformation. They copy the surface of your success, mimicking your confidence and independence, but their efforts crumble without the foundation of sacrifice and self-awareness that fueled your rise. Frustration festers, driving them to discredit you, to question your motives, and to twist your narrative to serve their insecurity. They craft stories that paint your growth as a stroke of luck or an anomaly, all in an effort to soothe the discomfort your progress stirs within them. Yet their words cannot touch the reality of your journey, which stands as proof of what's possible when authenticity and determination guide the way. Their efforts to draw you back are not fueled by strength, but by desperation. They attempt to reassert control, hoping to weaken the barriers you've built. Yet their envy serves as a signal, an alert to stay grounded in your power. Not everyone watching your journey celebrates your success. Some observe with the intent to exploit. They look for vulnerabilities, waiting for an opportunity to diminish your progress. But your foundation, built on authenticity and resilience, is impervious to their schemes. They cannot unravel what has been forged through your deepest strength and conviction. The energy and clarity that led you away from their influence are the same forces that will shield you from their attempts to undermine you. Your liberation is unwavering, an unstoppable force that needs no apology or explanation. Let their resentment be a reminder of how far you've come. You are not obligated to justify your growth to those still shackled by their own limitations. Their inability to comprehend your transformation reflects their own choices, not yours. Their envy becomes irrelevant in the face of your steadfast ascent, a shadow that can only follow but never diminish your light. Your rise serves as undeniable proof that their control was an illusion. And now, so is their significance. Move forward unbothered, your brilliance untouchable, your resolve unshakable. Leaving was not without its challenges. It required the strength to walk away not only from people, but also from the parts of yourself that had been entangled with them. Your trust, your devotion, and your emotional investment. The ties you severed were deeply rooted, built on shared experiences that once felt meaningful. Yet those same connections had become heavy chains, and breaking free came at a cost. Nostalgia whispers temptations of the past, painting those moments in hues brighter than they were. Doubts arise, questioning whether you were too firm, too dismissive, or too detached. But the truth stands firm. Staying would have meant sacrificing the core of who you are, holding on to fragments while your spirit withered under the weight of their expectations. The pain of letting go is undeniable, but so is the clarity and freedom that come with it. Choosing yourself was never about turning your back on others. It was about reclaiming your essence. It required acknowledging that some bonds were suffocating your growth, dimming your brilliance, and tethering you to a version of yourself that no longer served your spirit. The decisions you made weren't losses, they were trades, releasing what was holding you back to embrace the boundless potential ahead. Walking away came with its price, paid in moments of doubt, pain, and longing. But the reward was unparalleled, the freedom to rediscover your strength, unrestrained and unstoppable. You chose solitude not out of necessity, but as an affirmation of your independence. Solitude is not a retreat. It's a journey toward mastery. It strips away distractions, allowing you to hear the wisdom of your own intuition and recognize the resilience within. In the quiet, you've learned to trust yourself, to navigate without external approval, and to draw power from your inner voice. This independence is not a sign of isolation, but a declaration that your worth cannot be measured by the expectations of others. You are whole in your solitude, and that wholeness commands respect. To those who observe from a distance, your solitude may look like loneliness, but the undeniable strength you exude speaks of something far greater. Your decision to stand alone is rooted in self-respect, a refusal to compromise on the truth of who you are. Your freedom unsettles those who depend on validation from others because it highlights the empty spaces where their own self-assurance should reside. And yet, they cannot look away. They are captivated by the confidence and peace you radiate, intrigued by how you thrive without their influence. To you, solitude isn't a void. It's sovereignty, a state of being unshaken and complete. Let them wonder about the source of your strength. You've already proven that your path is fearless, and you need nothing but your own resolve to move forward. The void left in your wake is far more impactful than your presence ever was, compelling those you left behind to confront the gaps they once ignored. They now recognize the spaces you filled, your unwavering energy, your steadfast loyalty, your tireless efforts. For some, regret takes hold like an unshakable shadow, replaying every moment, every misstep, and forcing them to face the undeniable truth. They undervalued you. The weight of their oversight becomes a constant burden, a reminder of what was lost due to their failure to see your worth. Yet not all reflections lead to enlightenment. For others, resentment festers as a defense against their own inadequacies. They construct narratives that cast you as the antagonist, hoping to shield themselves from the harshness of their reality. They cling to the illusion that your departure was the root of their discomfort, refusing to acknowledge the toxic cycles they created and maintained. Their refusal to accept the truth locks them in the very stagnation you broke free from. Meanwhile, your growth reverberates through everything they thought they knew. They see you thrive, and the realization strikes. They were never the cornerstone of your success. Some attempt to mimic your steps, hoping to grasp the liberation you embody, while others retreat into bitterness, incapable of admitting they were the architects of their own confinement. Regardless of their reactions, your transformation shines a light they cannot escape. It confronts them with truths they would rather ignore, forcing them to see themselves without the filters they relied on. Their responses hold no sway over your path. Your progress is self-evident. You are not simply someone who left. You are the one who transcended, rising above every limitation they tried to impose. Your departure wasn't quiet or subtle. It was a declaration, a powerful act that dismantled the structures of control they thought were unshakable. They underestimated the depth of your strength, overlooked your resilience, and were blind to the fire that had been growing within you all along. Rooted in your strength, you are no longer merely a memory of what was. You are a presence that demands recognition. Your freedom radiates beyond personal liberation. It echoes as a bold statement for those still tethered by expectations or subdued by manipulation. In choosing to honor yourself, you have proven that breaking free is not a luxury, but a necessity. You are living proof of what it means to stand firm in authenticity, a beacon for those who yearn to reclaim their lives. Your light unsettles, motivates, and commands attention, even from those who prefer to dismiss your growth. Move forward with relentless purpose, unrestrained and unwavering. Let doubts, envy, and regret dissolve into insignificance as you chart your course upward. Their observations hold no power to hinder the momentum you've cultivated. Your journey carries weight and significance. Each step tells a story that others can look to for strength. Share the depths of your experiences, the struggles you've overcome, and the triumphs you've embraced. Your voice will resonate with those in need of a reminder that the path to freedom is attainable. Let your journey ignite change in others, guiding them toward their awakening. Your brilliance is needed. Continue shining, illuminating the way for those still finding their courage.